When it comes to storing those sentimental items, are you unsure about where to store them? Or do you have like them all over your house and you honestly have no idea what or how much of it you actually have? Oh, I've been there. So in this video, I'm going to show you my tricks for how to create a sentimental item box and where to store it. Hey there, I'm Jessica, the Organized Mama. I'm a family organizing expert that helps you with organizing tips, tricks, and tutorials the entire family can do. Okay, so sentimental storage boxes are basically like one of my favorite ways to corral all of the sentimental pieces. Now, these boxes, I don't want you just to have like any old box, and I don't want it just to be, all sorts of different sizes. I want you to get a large box, like a large one, but I want it like airtight, waterproof, that kind of thing. If you are saving these sentimental items, you need to invest in quality bins in order to preserve all of the things inside. I mean, would be the worst thing in the world if you preserved all of these things only to have water damage in your basement where you store them and everything is ruined inside the box, right? So spend a little extra money on quality box, make it airtight, super sealed so that nothing can get inside and you can actually preserve these items. I like using larger boxes because it gives you a specific designated spot. And the larger the box, the more space you have to store things. Because I don't want you getting like 12 or 13 boxes of sentimental items. Once you get over one box of sentimental items, it becomes clutter and not sentimental. Okay? So hear me out on this. When you hold on to everything, nothing is important. But when you hold on to those small, important things, then they actually truly are important and your kids will appreciate it later. So you're going to get one box, and that one box is going to be for all of your kids' stuff or for all of your, X amount of time. Like give yourself a specific time frame for items being stored in that box. I was working with a client and she had a ton of small bins and boxes of all of the things from like her high school and college and like single days before she was married. So we combined them all into one storage bin. From it honestly was basically like college until her wedding. And then her wedding and on had its own sentimental box. So she had 3 boxes for herself. She had her childhood, she had college, and then she had marriage. And by giving her those 3 designated boxes, she was able to hold on to pieces from those particular times in her life that actually were meaningful and she really enjoyed and wanted to keep. Instead of, having like 12 or 13 boxes of just things all spread out and whatever. So by giving each box a specific time period or time frame, you are able to, 1, corral all your stuff so you know where it is. And 2, you have a specific amount of space that you can store items, which means you aren't going to be holding on to everything. You're going to be holding on to the things that are most important because you aren't going to be adding more boxes to your sentimental item box that you are creating. Then you also only need to keep what you need. And this is so hard, especially for you holding on to items for your kids. Now, when you look at those things, I want you to ask yourself a couple of questions. So question 1 is, does this item need to be physically held to be appreciated? Some things like those little baby shoes or their first baby blanket, those things obviously you need to hold on to truly appreciate them. But every little piece of artwork, do you need to hold on to that in order to appreciate it, or can you turn it into a book? Then I want you to ask yourself, is this something you think your kids would appreciate later in life? Now, let's reflect on you. When your parents hand you your memory boxes, do you go through every little thing, or are you like, oh my God, this is all crap and throw it away? Honestly, be honest with yourself right now. There are specific things for me that I'm like, yes, I want to see, I want to hold on to, I want to keep. But a lot of stuff my mom held on to, I don't find special at all. It was meaningful to her, not to me. Because of that, I have recycled or thrown away way more stuff that she was holding on to simply because it didn't mean anything to me. The things that meant stuff to me, I have held on to, but everything else I don't need to. So when your kids get a little older, you can start asking them what they actually want to keep and what they don't, because isn't this memory box for them? You also want to ask yourself, is this actually necessary to be stored in this box, or can I do something with it? My husband had a whole bunch of jerseys that his family kept for him from when he played baseball in high school. And I decided to turn them into some canvas artwork. Now they're hanging in my son's room. So instead of holding on to them in a box, we've actually repurposed them into artwork that says his last name with his number, and they're hanging up in my son's room, and they're super cute. And because of this, we're actually using them and seeing them on a daily basis versus being stored in a box, taking up space for other things that he might have found more memorable than those particular jerseys. Okay, so you've gone through the box. Now you need to label it. Label with the kiddo's name, with your name, with the dates and the range of that box has the memories for, okay? You're gonna label it. You can use fancy labels. You can use a sticker label. You can stick a piece of paper in there on the outside just so you can see it. Whatever you do, just make sure it is labeled. This is another big thing I've seen. If you don't label it, then you forget what's in there. And so then what's gonna happen, you're gonna look at it, you're gonna be like, what is this? And you start to go through, and instead of using your time to declutter or do whatever you're planning to do, you spend your time going through all of these memories to try and figure out what was inside this box. So just label it. Just gonna make life easier. Then I need you to go through it frequently. What we've done is every year at the end of the school year, we go through our memory box because that's the time that we go through all of our papers as well. And we go through the papers and the artwork and everything from the school year and kind of decide, what are we keeping? What's going in the memory box? Is there anything in the memory box that now we just kind of don't really want to keep? And so everybody is involved in that whole process. We honestly do it. Our school does a half day at the very last day is a half day. So the rest of the half day is when we go through the memory boxes and everything. And then that's the rest of school. And then we don't have to worry about doing it later in the summer because it's done. And it just makes life so much easier when you just kind of do it right away. It's like ripping off that Band-Aid, right? Just do it and it is done and it is amazing. Okay, so now it's your turn to go and make memory boxes for everyone in your household. Love what you see? Don't forget to subscribe. New videos every Wednesday.